Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the Tokyo Disney Resort Skip the Line passes. It's a pretty easy system. I took 3 trips to Tokyo Disney Resort last year in 2024. I just got back from New Year's, so it is January 2025 when I'm filming this. I feel like during my 3 trips I got really a lot of experience using the app to skip the lines. So I thought I would share some of my tips and tricks with you guys based on my experience. And if you're finding this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. My name is Annie if you're new here. Let's just get started. You're going to need to get the Tokyo Disney Resort app before you go and make sure you have an account. If you've made reservations or booked tickets, you probably already have like the account set up, but just make sure that you have that because that's what you're going to use to book the passes. When you get to the park, if you have paper tickets, as you can see in the app, whichever side it's on, as you can see in the app, you can scan your park ticket in. If you bought it online, it's already going to be right in your app there. And as soon as you scan into the park, you're going to want to start booking the passes. These are the type of passes that are available. There is the Disney Premier Access, which is a paid pass. There's the Disney Priority Pass, which is a free pass. There's a Standby Pass, which is also free. And then there's the Entry Request, which is mostly for shows. We're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk mainly about Priority and Premier Access. So as I mentioned, Disney Premier Access is the paid service and Priority Pass is the free service. And what you're going to do is once you get in the park, book those passes. I'm going to start with Disneyland because DisneySea is a little bit of a different beast. So starting with Disneyland, there are 3 attractions that you can pay to skip the line. The Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. There's also the Happy Ride with Baymax and Splash Mountain. Those are the 3 you can purchase. Beauty and the Beast is 2,000 yen per person. Splash Mountain and Happy Ride with Baymax are 1,500 per person. So if you're trying to, save money, just keep in mind that Beauty and the Beast, you could rope drop that for free and then pay for Splash Mountain, which is cheaper. I don't recommend paying for Happy Ride with Baymax. It's a cute ride. If you have kids, you may want to do that, but it's just kind of if you've ever been to Walt Disney World, it's like alien swirling saucers. So it's just like a slow kind of spinning thing, but people get really hyped about it. It's got 6 great songs that I think it's 6 that they have little like dance things they do, and they do a little like Baymax they spell out, and it's great. But it's just as much fun to kind of stand on the side and watch as, I assume riding. At least I wouldn't pay to skip the line for that. And that one always has a really high wait time. So either be prepared to wait or pay to skip it. But as I mentioned, there are only the 3. So the 2 that I pay for are Splash Mountain and Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast. I usually rope drop Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast and book a pass as well so I can ride it twice in a day. It's a great ride. It's worth riding twice. And even booking that, I also can manage to get Splash Mountain later that day. It's pretty easy. Not everyone is trying to pay per person to book passes, so you have that little advantage that those passes last a little longer. Another option for paid passes are for the parade and nighttime shows. This is another one I don't really recommend. I have done it twice. The first day I paid and we had a great spot. And the second time we paid, we had a not as great spot. So for me, it's 2,500 yen per person for a guaranteed spot for the parade. And there's sections that are perfectly in front of the castle. So you got a perfect view, castle, fireworks, whichever one you're booking, you got a perfect view. But when you pay, you get the assigned spot in the app. And so it can be section A, row 2, so you've got someone in front of you. And I just think if I was for someone to be in front of me to pay all that money, I'd rather go stand on the curb for free and have someone in front of me. And I could get a front row spot for the parade and just sit and wait it out if I really wanted to. So I don't usually recommend it, but if you want to guarantee that spot, go ahead and book it. It's great to be able to just show up a little bit before the show and have a guaranteed spot and right where you know you're sitting. So that's kind of good. But there are different options for the different shows at Disneyland, the different night shows. So that totally up to you. If you book a night show, this is going to get into, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like winging this whole thing, but you can book another pass either when your time has come or 2 hours after you booked your pass. So this means that if you rope drop at 9 a.m. and purchase a 7 p.m. parade time, you can book another paid pass 2 hours later. So if you booked it at 9, that means you can book another one starting at 11. So if seeing the parade is really important to you, book the parade spot first thing in the morning, and then 2 hours later you can purchase a pass for Beauty and the Beast or Splash Mountain or Happy Ride with Baymax or whatever, or even one of the other shows. But you do have to wait 2 hours later, since obviously the night shows, you're not going to book another pass at 7. That brings me to, again, you can either book another pass when your time comes or 2 hours later. So if it's when your time comes, you also don't have to use the pass to be able to book the next pass. So this is where, before we get into priority pass, I'm just going to kind of explain. I will rope drop Beauty and the Beast. I will book a priority pass for something around 9:05. And while I'm in line for Beauty and the Beast at 9:05, I will be on the app booking another priority pass for another ride. So while I'm riding Beauty and the Beast, I can book 2 priority passes and then also pay for another premiere pass. So ideally have 4 rides done at rope drop, like guaranteed, that you aren't waiting in line for. So you can stack them. That comes in with strategy to make sure that you know which rides to pick. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. But now that we've talked about that's Disney Premier Access. That's the paid one. Now let's talk about the free one, Disney Priority Pass. At Disneyland, there are 5 attractions that have the Skip the Line passes. It is Pooh's Honey Hunt, Monsters Inc. Ride and Go Seek. It is Haunted Mansion, Star Tours, and Big Thunder Mountain. Pooh's Honey Hunt and Monsters Inc. are probably the 2 top ones I tell you to get. Thunder Mountain would be my 3rd option. Those ones are going to be the most popular. Pooh's Honey Hunt is amazing. If you've ever been on a Winnie the Pooh ride at any Disney park, don't let that even influence you, because Pooh's Honey Hunt is so much better and so different, and it's really one of the best rides in the park. That's why everyone runs there. That ride will have a higher wait time than, say, Haunted Mansion. So when you're booking your passes, you want to book Pooh's Honey Hunt, or my other one is Monsters Inc. Ride and Go Seek. That is one where you're in a ride and you're playing like a flashlight tag. So while you're going around, you're pointing a little flashlight at the monsters in the ride. It's totally cute. Also has a really high wait time typically. So those are the top 2 I suggest. Thunder Mountain's also great. You know, if you know a Thunder Mountain, you know a Thunder Mountain. Star Tours, I always skip. I don't think it typically has much of a high wait. I think it's got really good capacity, so the wait time's not too terrible. So I would not prioritize that one for myself. What else do we have here? All right, so I think I have some screenshots here of different times I've booked passes, and these are priority passes. So when you first rope drop in the morning, you're going to have options, and there, you know, you want to pick the earliest time for one of those popular attractions that I mentioned. So when I'm looking, if there's a Haunted Mansion at 9:05 and a Pooh's Honey Hunt at 9:10, I'm taking the Pooh's Honey Hunt at 9:10. If there's a Pooh's Honey Hunt at 9:30 and a Monsters Inc. at 9:10, I'm taking Monsters Inc. at 9:10. So of the popular attractions, you want to take that earliest wait time that's available. Because as I mentioned, if I take a 9:10 for Monsters Inc., when I'm in line for something, I can book something else. So I can have Monsters Inc. that I haven't ridden yet and go in the app and then book Pooh's Honey Hunt. and then have both of those two top attractions there. Later in the day, it will start to show the wait time for the attraction. So that makes it even easier. So here is an example of it shows Haunted Mansion has a 5-minute wait, and Pooh's Honey Hunt has what, like a 30-minute wait. So if I was going to book a priority pass, I'm going to book the priority pass for Pooh's Honey Hunt and go over to Haunted Mansion and wait the 5 minutes. One of my first mistakes was I went and I really wanted to do Haunted Mansion, and it's my favorite ride, and it was my first day at Tokyo Disneyland, and I booked it at 9:05, and then I couldn't get, the next pass that was available was Monsters Inc. at 11:45. So that was a mistake I made. As you can see, I booked at 9:05. I went in the app to book, and the next time was 11:45. So after learning from my mistake, which you're going to learn from as well, I booked Monsters Inc. at 9:10, and then I was able to book Haunted Mansion at 10:45. So you see how then at 10:45 I can book a third priority pass. So again, earlier times, the stacking, the earlier, the more you can stack on each other. That does still leave you with several attractions that you don't have any option to skip the line, but it's very easy to get through all of them. Not Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean and Jungle Cruise typically have like a 20-40 minute wait, but don't wait the 40 minutes. It'll go down. Use the app to kind of keep an eye on it. Also, Tiki Room is usually walk-on. Country Bears is a walk-on typically. In the evening, when people start lining up for the parade, that's a great time to start hitting all the Fantasyland attractions because they're really walk-ons. So I walk on Pinocchio, Snow White. Everything's just a walk-on back there. Small World. So that's really great at the end of the day. Those don't have, they have higher wait times during the day, so I'd avoid Fantasyland rides during the day. I always try to do those at the very end of the day. And a lot of things have walk-on, times at the end of the day. So if you're not that interested in the parades, or you're going to stay after the parades, you do have opportunities to get on more attractions without waiting. So some of those, most of the big ones are covered by these passes, and you can typically get all of them in a day. That was Disneyland. Let's talk about DisneySea, which is a little different. And this could totally be changed, soon, because a lot of this depends on Fantasy Springs. There are only Fantasy Springs vacation packages through March 31st. So I think after March 31st, Fantasy Springs might go to allowing an open standby line. I actually read today online that someone posted Fantasy Springs is not requiring passes to enter the land, just passes to get on the ride. So I think things are starting to change a little bit at DisneySea. So I'm just going to give you, I'm going to give you the best I can about it. It could, if you're watching this video later in 2025, things could be a little different. But as of January 2025, the options for the Disney Premier Access at DisneySea are Soarin', Journey to the Center of the Earth, Tower of Terror, Toy Story Mania, Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey, Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, and Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure. Those are the attractions you can pay to skip the line. I sometimes make videos on my Instagram, and sometimes people kind of laugh about, like, why do you rope drop Soarin'? But Soarin' is a 2,000 yen per person attraction, and all the Journey to the Center of the Earth, Tower of Terror, and Toy Story Mania are only 1,500. So again, saving that little couple dollars is it adds up. So I will rope drop Soarin' so I don't pay for the pass, and then I pay for Journey and Tower of Terror and sometimes Toy Story. It just depends. Sometimes the availability isn't all for those rides. But the ones that'll always be, kind of easier to get are those ones I just listed. So those are the 4. If you have done Soarin' in other places and you have no desire to do Soarin' here, the only thing that's different is the theming is different. The pre-show is different. The ending is over Tokyo and over DisneySea. So if you've done Soarin' before and you have no interest in it, Don't Rope Drop Soarin', Rope Drop Journey to the Center of the Earth. And then book, Tower of Terror and Toy Story. But if you're trying to save money and you're trying to get through all the attractions, I say Rope Drop Soarin' because it's more expensive. Frozen, Rapunzel, and Peter Pan are all part of the new Fantasy Springs area at DisneySea. And up until recently, you could only even enter the land by getting one of the passes through the app. You either had to get a Disney Premier Access paid pass or the standby pass that I mentioned earlier. This is one of the times that they're using that. So for Fantasy Springs, you can pay for Frozen, or you can get a free standby pass for Frozen. But it's a very, very long line. It's not a skip the line. It's just getting in line. That's the thing about standby, is priority passes are free, skip the line. Standby is free, stand in line. So you could get a Frozen standby line and wait 100 minutes. If you pay for a Frozen Premier Access, you will walk on in like 5 minutes. That's the difference, is the free one allows you to skip, or the paid one allows you to skip the line. The free one just allows you to wait in a long line. I do believe if they're going to lift the restrictions on the land, you, again, will be able to walk in the land, but you won't be able to get on rides without still booking the standby pass. So again, going back to the app, there's the standby pass and the Premier Access, and those are what you need to try to do first when you go into DisneySea, because those are the only ways to get on the new rides. If you have a vacation package or you're staying at the Fantasy Springs Hotel, this does not matter to you. You can tune out for a minute and tune back in a second. But if you are not staying at a Fantasy Springs Hotel or you are not on a vacation package, the only ways to get on the new rides are through the app. Frozen is the most popular. It is the hardest to get on. It is the one that goes quickest. That is the one you need to try to get first. You need to try to pay for that one. Try to do the Premier Access for that. If you get Frozen Premier Access, go to the standby and go for standby for Rapunzel or Peter Pan. Once those times come up, book the other ones. Peter Pan, Rapunzel, Frozen, you need to try to get on all of those. There's also Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies, which only offers a standby pass, so you have to get that through the app to be able to wait in line for that. Line can be really long for that one. Not worth it. It's cute. If you have little ones, they'll want to do it, but it's not really worth it. It's cute though. Now let's talk about those were all the paid for passes, and that was a little bit about Fantasy Springs. Now the free passes here are Indiana Jones, Aquatopia, Turtle Talk, Nemo and Friends Sea Rider, Raging Spirits, Magic Lamp Theater, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Indiana Jones goes the quickest. Go for Indiana Jones first. Get it quick, because they're gonna go. Next popular one kind of is probably Raging Spirits. That's a coaster. It goes upside down. It's not great. It's very similar to the Indiana Jones coaster that's in Paris. But the Indiana Jones ride is like the one in Disneyland, like the car. So you've got Indiana Jones is great. You got to get that one. Raging Spirits, take it or leave it. It's just a coaster. It's not great, but it's okay. Nemo and Friends Sea Rider, Magic Lamp Theater, Turtle Talk. They're all okay in my opinion. I don't need to do any of them. I love Aquatopia though. Get a pass for Aquatopia. It's very fun. It's very strange. It's like very unique. You're in a thing on the water. It's cool. And 20,000 Leagues, if you don't mind being like enclosed spaces, like underwater, I love it. It's really unique. If you're not into that, don't get a pass for that. But all those passes are pretty easy to get. Like, Indiana Jones is really the one Indiana Jones and Raging Spirits are going to be probably the two that you got to grab when you're there. That still leaves, several rides that are really worth doing. But of all of the rides that are worth doing, You gotta do Sinbad. That's the best ride. There's no skip the line pass. It never has a wait, but it is so good. So you gotta make sure you do that. During editing, I realized I forgot a few things, so I'm adding something later. I wanted to mention you can purchase Premier Access for the show at Tokyo DisneySea, the nighttime show, which is believed Sea of Dreams. I have done this and I don't recommend it because you do not have a numbered spot. You only in advance pick out which section you want to be in. And I think if I remember correctly, when I was booking the show, it gave me the option of which section I wanted, and one section said standing and one section said sitting. So I picked the sitting section because it was right center of where the volcano is. So it's the show is a nighttime show that's on like the water there. And it has projections on the hotel behind you. It has projections on the volcano. There's all sorts of stuff going on. But purchasing the spot only guarantees that you get to sit in the section that's center of the volcano. It doesn't guarantee where you're sitting in that section. So when we were going through DisneySea, we kind of passed by early on. We had bought the reserve spot. And we passed by early on and we saw people already sitting at the front. And I was like, oh boy, because I had wanted to film it. And then when I saw people sitting already, there was no chance I was going to film that. And when we went to sit, we didn't show up last minute or anything, but we were in the very back of the section. Had a great view because everyone sits. But we were behind, I don't know, 50 rows of people. I mean, it just felt like a sea, a Disney sea of people. And so I just thought, I have gone several times and just gone and sat in restaurants and waited till just like the show was like starting. I don't recommend booking the spot because it's 2,500 yen per person. So just thinking about that much money, I thought I had almost the same kind of view going last minute somewhere else around the water. It's huge. You won't have the best spot if you don't, stand early, but just paying for a spot and then still having to get there early is not as good as Disneyland, where Disneyland had those numbers on the ground where you had A127. So I stood or sat on A127, had no worries about getting there early. DisneySea, it's just like a giant corral roped off. And when you get there, you sit and they just kind of line you up as you fill in. So we were in the real back because we wanted to ride rides and get food and stuff and not pay and wait for the show. If we were going to wait, we'd wait for free, I guess. And you will see at the very back of the rope, because I was laughing because we were at the very back, like the roped off section. The rope was behind us, they were right behind us. And behind, on the other side of the rope, were all these people sitting and waiting for the show. And I thought, those people are not paying and they don't have much more than a foot different view than me. So for the money, I would not pay for the show, which I would pay for all the Fantasy Springs I would pay for all the Fantasy Springs attractions, which I just want to go back to Fantasy Springs because I had a few thoughts after the fact, after I just talked there about you need to get Fantasy Springs passes first. Those are going to be the hardest to get. Fantasy Springs passes, you can get the Disney Premier Access paid passes, or you can get the stand in a line free passes. Those, because if you're trying for Fantasy Springs passes first, those don't interfere with the priority passes. And so that allows you to get Indiana Jones or try Indiana Jones as soon as you get in the park. But what you need to really be doing when you get in the park is trying for the Fantasy Springs passes. And Frozen is going to be the one you need to go for first. I think I already said that. At 8 a.m., when you enter the park, or whatever time the park opens. Make sure you know what time the park opens. If you enter the park at 8 a.m. and you book Frozen at 7 p.m., just so you can get on the ride, you take any time you can get, and let's just say you get a very late time in the day, being that you booked it at 8 a.m., you can try for another pass at 10 a.m., 2 hours later. So at 10 a.m., get in the app and try for another one of the Fantasy Springs rides, the Peter Pan or Rapunzel, so that you can try to get those and again, stack those. So there's that stackability with even the paid passes. It's more of an option at DisneySea because there are more good rides with paid options at DisneySea versus Disneyland. So all the tips I gave you for stacking earlier, please use those for Fantasy Springs and the other DisneySea attractions for the Premier access. Because the paid passes, if you're going to pay, which I think you should rather than waiting in some of these long wait times, the paid passes, there are more options at DisneySea. So there is that stackability that take those good attractions. This is one of those times I don't say take the early attraction time for Premier access. Get Fantasy Springs and take whatever you can get. I have gone on 3 vacation packages with Fantasy Springs just to guarantee that I get on the rides, because I have gone to DisneySea on other days and not been able to get the rides. I showed up at 9 a.m. The line took me 45 minutes to get in. And I was ready, and I opened the app and Peter Pan popped up at 7 p.m. and I clicked to take it, and then it said this is no longer available. And I spent all day refreshing. I was there on a busy day. So if you go on a not busy day, you might have great luck. You might get all of them, no problem. I did not get any of them. So, so just keep that in mind, that the earlier you get there, the better your chances are. Because me showing up at 9 when the park had been open since 8, I got in at 9:45 and all the passes were gone. I see a lot of comments on some of my videos. A lot of people that say they went and couldn't get any passes. Some people said they went and couldn't get Frozen. And then I see people that said they just showed up whenever and they got passes easy. So I guess there's just depends on what day you go. But I would not say just show up whenever and you'll get all of them. If you really need and want to get all of them, you got to show up early. If you have happy entry for DisneySea, take advantage of that and show up early and get in there, because as soon as you get inside the park is when you can book it. You need to get in the park, and everyone is trying to get in the park. So you need to get in the park. So that's why I always say get there early. And keep in mind, at this time, the only hotels that have happy entry for DisneySea are Ambassador, Miracosta, and Fantasy Springs Hotel. If you're staying at Toy Story Hotel or Tokyo Disneyland Hotel, you do not get happy entry for DisneySea. That is why I didn't arrive early on the day I was going to DisneySea, because I already knew I was doomed. I knew that I was not going to get in there happy entry. No happy entry staying at Tokyo Disneyland Hotel. And the other day I was staying at Toy Story Hotel. And I knew I was not going to get in those days. Happy entry lines are shorter and the regular line is long, a lot early. So I knew I wasn't going to get in those days. So, I would have planned my trip a little different if I'd remember that. Like when I was booking, I just was thinking of whatever is available, taking it. I could not get Miracosta. I could not get Fantasy Springs Hotel when I was booking. Ambassador came up and I didn't think about it. If I had thought about it, I would have booked Ambassador those days I planned to go to DisneySea just to have the happy entry. I didn't think about it until after I was getting there, checking, and I was like, oh no, what have I done? So now you can learn from my mistake. If you're going to book a trip, and just think about the DisneySea day, make sure that you are staying the night before your DisneySea day. This is important here. the night before your DisneySea day, you need to stay at Ambassador, Miracosta, or Fantasy Springs Hotel. You don't get happy entry on your check-in day. It's your check-out day. So the night you're staying, the next morning is your DisneySea day that you're going to have happy entry. You get up early, and they want you to get up early and get out of the hotel. That's the strategy, you know. So that's get out. Get up early and get out. So you check out, and you know, you don't have to check out till noon. That's a great thing. But if you want happy entry on your DisneySea day, make sure that the night before your DisneySea day, you are staying at one of the 3 hotels I just named. Another tip, download the app before you go, because I always go in the app and I check the wait times like the week before my trip, just to see kind of how the crowd flow is, what the highs and lows are. It's good to know what the wait times are so you can strategize. I look and I go, okay, Pirates of the Caribbean is 5 minutes all morning. So when I see it at 40 minutes in the afternoon, I don't wait in line because I know I can get on it 5 minutes in the morning. So I would just go in the morning. That, you know, if you're a planner and you just, I would say, like, check the wait times on the app, and then you'll know, okay, make sure we go to this or that. Or you can say, wow, Beauty and the Beast only has 100-minute wait. Must be a slow day. And then you just, you know, are excited because you're going on a slow day and you're going to have no problems. All right, quick recap. Disney Premier Access is a paid skip the line pass. Disney Priority Access is a free skip the line pass. Disney Standby Pass is a free pass to stand in line. It is a necessary pass to get in line. You cannot get in a standby line without a standby pass if something requires a standby pass. I hope I have explained the 3 passes well there. In my experience, rope drop, if you have happy entry, you know, maybe 30 minutes early than the happy entry starts, that's pretty much good to get in line. Know where you're rope dropping, but be booking your passes early and start stacking them. If you book those early times, 9:05, 9:10, make sure that you're on your phone at 9:05 to book the next one, and just have a good time. It's going to be crowded if you go on a weekend or a holiday, but it's really manageable. I've gone on busy times and I get on everything. The longest line you'll probably wait in is going to be for popcorn or food. Let me know if this video was helpful. If there were any questions that I didn't answer, please leave them in the comments and I will reply. Check the description for my socials because I post tons of useful information about Tokyo Disney Resort over there. And let me know if this was useful. See you guys next time. Bye.